gentlemen. Like John said, we thought it was very important that we give some idea of how the tourism industry has been performing for the year. And that is a topic we know that is of peculiar interest to the general public, because because of the significance of tourism as the lead economic sector for St. Lucia, and also in the context of the recent world economic crisis and what we experienced, which was a downturn in our arrivals. Today I can say confidently that we have seen a tremendous shift in the performance on the basis of arrivals, because we are now on a steady growth path. We have grown consecutively on a monthly basis from the beginning of this year right through to the end of August, which is the last set of data that we have. And I am happy to report that we now are looking at 15.9%, nearly 16% increase in the arrivals on a year-to-date basis. This development has come as a result of some of the specific initiatives that we have been engaging as a destination, and Ms. Rose will get into some of those specifics in a short while. But suffice it is to say that some of the interesting developments that we have seen for the year are, one, that based on the additional airlift that we had negotiated as far back as 2008 and also in 2009, we are now beginning to reap the benefits of those initiatives. In the US market in particular, that market has actually grown by nearly 40% overall on a year-to-date basis when we compare 2010 and 2009. In the case of the UK, we had some significant slippages there in that market, where we had posted some declines for nearly 18 months. And for the first time in August, we've seen a phenomenal turnaround again, with 14.5% increase in arrivals, making that market one of the most important ones for us as a destination. We also have significant growth being posted in the Canadian market, and that is a very important development, because we have been experiencing some growth for nearly 12 months in the Canadian market with the introduction of the service by WestJet, which has not only added additional capacity to St. Lucia, but has also effected an average reduction, or a reduction in the average airfare for persons willing to travel to St. Lucia. So that's also important. Another overall important development that we have noticed is that based on the additional airlift capacity that we have now for the summer months, which has been better than we have had ever before, we are seeing now, for the first time in the history of the measurement of tourism data for St. Lucia, that we are now posting more arrivals in the summer months than we have had in the winter months. And I think that is a significant turnaround. What has normally happened is that in the first 3 months of the year, January, February, and March, which are traditionally winter months, you would find most of the arrivals, or the highest posting in terms of the numbers of persons coming in for those months. Now and that used to average somewhere in the range of the lower 20s. With the performance that we are looking at for 2010, this year, we have had an average of about 32,000 persons coming in per month to St. Lucia. And that is really a significant development in the context of how we have performed as a destination. The other interesting development that has taken place is that as a fallout of the global economic crisis, the average daily expenditure at the hotel plant, or the cost of a day's stay at the hotel plant, had actually slipped. And that had all to do with the pressures for negotiation, the expectation on the part of visitors for a deal, and the hotel's response in an attempt to keep business flowing at their properties. We saw a depreciation or decline in the average daily rates that were charged. We are now beginning to see that turnaround, and the rates are actually climbing. From our estimates from the visitor expenditure surveys that we conduct throughout the year, we've seen somewhere in the range of about a 15% increase in those average rates. So I think the net benefit to St. Lucia as a destination is, in real terms, actually growing. It's not only in terms of the volume of persons, which we have identified as on an increasing trend, but also we see returns in terms of the benefits, the value of business generated by the destination. And I thought these were important factors that we had to highlight today. With regard to airlift, that has been one of the major driving forces. And like as I alluded to earlier, we have a 40% increase in the capacity for the summer, and that has all to do with the airlift that have been negotiated with some of the industry partners. We have the new service that started in the winter months of last year for Condor, and we have been able to negotiate contracts for this summer and also for the winter coming. And prior to this, we never had it's been a long time since we've had a direct air service out of Germany. So we've seen numbers on that market increase by over 100%. I think the latest data shows 144%.